She looked into my eyes and spoke the words that would forever change everything between us. She told me she needed just one night with another man, just one night, she said, to feel alive. There was an expectation in her tone, as if she wanted me to cry, to beg, to plead for her to stay, to hold on to the love we had built. But I didn't. I smiled, and in that moment, she lost everything. This isn't just a story about betrayal. It's a story about silence, dignity, and the raw moment when you stop loving someone the way you once did and start respecting yourself. My name is Adam, and this is how my wife destroyed our marriage and how I turned her perfect world into ashes. I never imagined the woman I had loved for 19 years, the one I built my life with, would become the architect of my humiliation. Her name was Vanessa. If you ask her today, she'll tell you she deserved more. She'll tell you that I neglected her, that I was too focused on business, that she was just trying to feel alive again. But what she won't tell you is that she didn't cheat behind my back. No, she stood in the middle of our kitchen, barefoot in her silk robe, a cup of coffee in one hand, and casually asked for permission to cheat. She said, "I want one night with another man, just one, and then everything will go back to normal." She said it like it was the most reasonable request in the world, like she was asking for a weekend spa retreat, not the destruction of everything we had built. I stood there in silence, my jaw clenched, my heart pounding so loudly I could barely hear the refrigerator hum. I didn't say a word. I just stared at her, and she stared back, as if I were the one who didn't understand her need. Vanessa had always believed she was a prize. She was beautiful, polished, magnetic, the kind of woman who could walk into a room and have every eye on her. She thrived on attention, on validation. And in her mind, my steady, loyal love wasn't enough anymore. We met in college. She was studying design while I was already knee-deep in building my first business. I sold phone cases out of my dorm room, hustling day and night. When we got married, I had nothing but a rusted Civic and a busted laptop. But she believed in me, and I believed in her. Together, we built a life, a real one. I turned my side hustle into a tech accessory company. Custom chargers, docks, solar backups, niche stuff, but it grew. I hired employees. We bought our first house, then a better one. But Vanessa, she stayed home after our second child was born. She said she wanted to focus on herself, maybe start her own fashion blog, maybe do YouTube. But she never did. Instead, she shopped, hosted brunches, took spa days, went on Pilates classes, Botox treatments, girls' trips. I paid for it all. I wanted her to be happy. I thought, stupidly, that when you give someone everything, they won't want anything else. I was wrong. When someone's core is built around attention, your love, no matter how steady, becomes invisible. So, the day she asked for her night, something inside me died. But something else was born, not rage, not grief, but clarity. She thought I'd fight. She thought I'd beg. She thought I'd scream, demand that she not go. But I didn't. I simply said, "Okay." She looked at me, confused. I kissed her forehead, told her to do what she needed to do. I told her that I loved her, that I trusted her. She smiled, thinking she had won. She had no idea that, at that very moment, I had started building a plan that would leave her reputation in ashes and her designer handbags on Facebook Marketplace. That night, while she was out doing whatever she felt she deserved, I sat down at my desk and pulled up all our financial accounts. It was easy. I had built the life she just lived in. The house was in my name. The cars were leased through the company. And the joint accounts? Easy to clean up. I transferred 50% of everything liquid into a personal trust one had set up that morning. The rest, I left exactly where it was, so she'd think I hadn't noticed. Then I called a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, but a quiet, expensive, ruthless one. By morning, everything was in motion. When Vanessa walked through the door, her hair messy, makeup smudged, wearing the same dress she left in, I was making pancakes for our son. She smiled at me like nothing had happened. I kissed her on the cheek and said nothing. The performance had begun. For the next 2 weeks, I pretended nothing was wrong. I took her out to dinner, sent her flowers, made love to her like she hadn't just slept with another man. She thought it was guilt. She thought I was just so grateful that she had come back. She thought I worshipped the ground she walked on. In reality, I was collecting evidence. Phone records, photos, credit card charges. Everything I needed to turn her perfect world into nothing more than dust. I had access to everything. Her cloud backups, her texts, her photos, her location history. Everything I needed to paint a clear picture of her infidelity. Not because the court would care, it was a no-fault state, but because the people who mattered would. Her family, our kids, our neighbors, her friends, her social circle. All the people she had spent nearly 2 decades curating the image of a perfect life for. I was about to burn that perfect image to the ground. The real move came at our 19th anniversary party. Vanessa had planned the whole thing, a full garden party in the backyard, complete with a tent, music, wine tasting, and all the trimmings. I paid for it all, smiling for the cameras, playing my part. And then, just as she stood up to toast the love of her life, I excused myself. I walked inside, sat at my desk, and hit send on the email campaign I'd been preparing for weeks. The subject line read, "The truth about my wife. What happened on May 14 TH." It went out to everyone, her parents, her siblings, our friends, the PTO moms, the book club ladies, her online boutique followers, everyone. Screenshots, location history, texts, photos, and at the bottom, a quiet note. Asterisk, this is not revenge. This is reality. For 19 years, I gave her everything she asked for. One night, I gave her forever. She gave me betrayal. I gave her truth. Asterisk. By the time I walked back outside, Vanessa's phone was blowing up. She looked at me, confusion giving way to horror, then to pure fury. She stormed inside, and I followed. The argument that followed was chaotic. She screamed, she cried, she begged, but I just stood there, calm, resolved. "I told you could have one night," I said, my voice steady. I never said there wouldn't be consequences. That was the last night she ever slept in that house. The divorce was brutal. Vanessa fought dirty. She tried to turn the kids against me. She called me abusive, controlling, cold, but none of it stuck. She had no income, no assets. Her dream of being a social media influencer was dead in the water. No one wanted to sponsor the woman who slept with a gym trainer and called it empowerment. Meanwhile, I kept building quietly and focused. I didn't date. I didn't party. I just worked and healed. The kids came around, eventually. First my daughter, then my son. They saw the difference between love and manipulation. I never badmouthed Vanessa. She didn't need me to. She did that herself. A year later, I met someone new. Her name was Elise. She didn't wear a mask. She didn't need me to validate her. She validated herself. And she saw me, too. She didn't ask for anything but gave me everything. The night I told her about Vanessa, she simply held my hand and said, "That's not your story anymore." And she was right. It wasn't. This story isn't about a cheating wife. It's about a man who finally remembered his worth. It's about dignity, about silence that screams louder than vengeance. It's about knowing that sometimes, when someone says they just need one night, the best thing you can do is give them a lifetime without you. Thank you so much for watching this story to the end. If it touched you in any way, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories like this. Your support means the world and keeps us creating. See you in the next one.